Hi, I'm Pastor Dave with Declaration Church, and today I have a confession to make. When I first became a follower of Jesus, there were a lot of outside influences that caused this, a lot of past experience that led to this position, but I took Mary, the mother of Jesus, and I basically just confined her to this current season, the season of Christmas, and then ignored her the rest of the time, knowing that certain faith traditions have elevated Mary to a place that she should not occupy biblically. I took the opposite extreme and just completely discarded her almost, as though she was almost unimportant outside of that place as the one who birthed Jesus into the world. I just kind of took that as a piece and left it in the Christmas season and then ignored her completely. I completely dismissed Mary, the mother of Jesus, when I should not have done so, because Mary sets for you and I, as followers of Jesus, an unbelievably, just tremendous example of a person who is full of faith and living a life submitted to God in ways that you and I should emulate as people of faith. While there are some traditions that really elevate Mary to a place where it just isn't biblically accurate, there are others, like the ones that I've been participating along with most of my life as a follower of Jesus, that completely dismiss her. And when you look at Mary, even from the very beginning, before Jesus is even born, the example she sets for you and I, living a life of faith, is one that we should not ignore. In Luke chapter 1, we're introduced to a number of different people, one of which is Zechariah, who is married to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is Mary's cousin. And he is told, while serving as a priest, a person of faith, a leader in faith, serving in the temple, he is told that his wife, who has to this point been barren, is going to be having a child, that she is going to give birth to a son. And he has a hard time accepting that, has a hard time believing that, asks for a sign, and he's given one. And he is completely mute from that point forward until he writes out, after his son has been born, that his name is going to be John. And he becomes John the Baptist. And so we see that example. But with Mary, we see an incredible example of faith. When she receives the information that she is going to give birth to Jesus, that she's going to be pregnant as a virgin, as someone who is not married, hasn't had that kind of a relationship before, she's going to be pregnant and she's going to give birth to Jesus. She asks the logical question, how is this possible? And when she's given the answer, she doesn't ask for a sign. She doesn't ask for some confirmation. She doesn't continue to question that and doubt that. No, instead, her response is found in Luke 1, verse 38. And it is an incredible response, and one that you and I should emulate as Jesus extends to us a radical invitation. It says in verse 38, Mary said, "Behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." The angel departed from her. So with all of this incredible annunciation to Mary of all the things that are going to take place, that she's going to become pregnant, she is going to bear the Son of God and name him Jesus. She is going to be the only virgin to ever give birth. With this coming in and being announced to her, her response is, "I'm God's servant. Let it be to me just as you've said." You and I could learn a lot from that, because God extends to us a radical invitation to a life like no other through his son Jesus. Jesus is extending his hand to us, saying, "Come and walk with me, alongside me, take my yoke upon yourself, walk beside me, learn from me, live a life like no other life. Live the abundant life that I created you to live. Come and live with me. And we oftentimes approach that invitation with skepticism and questioning and wanting signs and wanting different confirmations, wanting everything to be laid out in front of us perfectly so that we don't have anything to question. We have no reason for real faith because we have all of the details provided. And Mary, she's not given all the details. She's not given all of the ins and the outs of what's to come. She's not told at this point she's going to be living for a time in Egypt and she's going to be running for her life and that she's going to be that not everything is going to go smoothly. She's not given all of that insight, and yet she accepts God's invitation. She's a tremendous person of faith, and she becomes a follower of Jesus from before he's crucified. She's a follower of Jesus. She's going to stick with him the entire time. And we have evidence in Scripture to believe that she follows Jesus to the point of her death after his resurrection. She's possibly the reason that Jesus' brothers come to faith. She may have played a huge role in that. So she's a tremendous example of what it means to live a life of faith. And it's an example that you and I, as followers of Jesus, could learn a lot from. And so my invitation to you in this Christmas season is to take a fresh look at Mary and the life that she led as a person of faith, a woman of faith, an example, a stalwart of faith. And emulate her when God says, here's my invitation to you. This is what I'm inviting you to do as you walk with me. Instead of questioning it and doubting it and looking for all of these different ways to kind of confirm and make it work, simply say, just as Mary did, behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word. I hope that's an encouragement to you today. I hope that this helps you take another step forward in your faith walk with Jesus. And if it has, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, share it with people that you know will benefit, and subscribe to the channel so that when we post new content, you can continue to be encouraged by it, continue to be uplifted by it, continue to be challenged by it, so that you grow in your walk with Jesus. As always, I'm Pastor David, and I'm out.